Coming up on Arirang News. North Korea launched a ballistic missile toward the EC this morning, but the test firing has apparently failed. This follows the regime sending trash-carrying balloons across the border for the second straight night yesterday. With South Korea having the highest suicide rate in the OECD, President Yoon vows to provide full support for improving the country's mental health services. For the first time in well over a year, the number of babies born in South Korea has risen year on year in April. But experts say the increase is due to the base effect, with last year's figure at its worst level. Good evening. It's 9 p.m. here in Seoul. Thank you for joining us on Arirang News. I'm Ji-young. We begin with North Korea test firing a ballistic missile early this morning, which apparently failed. And this comes after the regime launched another round of trash-carrying balloons into the south just last night. Our defense correspondent Choi Min-jung leads us off.
North Korea on Wednesday morning launched a ballistic missile that appears to have failed. According to South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff, the regime fired a ballistic missile toward the EC at around 5:30 a.m. from the Pyongyang area. A military official explained that the North appears to have attempted to test launch a solid-fuel hypersonic missile. However, the military said the launch apparently failed, as the missile reportedly exploded mid-air after traveling some 250 kilometers, likely due to engine problems. This is the regime's first ballistic missile launch in almost a month, and experts say it could be a response to the arrival of the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt in South Korea. But it could also be an effort by the regime to flaunt military achievement ahead of a key party meeting this month.
North Korea perhaps tried to highlight the success of the reconnaissance satellite, but that failed. So I believe they are continuing to test solid-fuel engines to achieve positive results with regard to solid-fuel medium to long-range ballistic missiles.
The provocation also comes after North Korea sent trash-carrying balloons for the second straight night on Tuesday, which was the sixth time since May 28th. As of Wednesday morning, the regime sent around 250 balloons, of which 100 landed in South Korea, mostly in Seoul and North Gyeonggi-do province. The military has been warning that it is ready to air loudspeaker broadcasts immediately against the North, depending on the regime's actions. Pyongyang is presumed to have launched around 2,000 balloons so far. The latest balloon delivery meant delays of up to 3 hours for dozens of domestic and international flights at Incheon International Airport early Wednesday to prevent the risk of an accident. In three-way phone talks on Wednesday, top nuclear envoys of South Korea, the U.S., and Japan strongly condemned the launch and agreed to keep a close eye on the possibility of additional provocations by North Korea following its recent summit with Russia. South Korea's envoy also vowed to ensure the public safety from the trash-carrying balloons. Choi Min-jung, Arirang News.
South Korea has conducted live fire drills on its western border islands for the first time in nearly 7 years. This follows the country's decision earlier this month to suspend the inter-Korea military agreement, which bans hostile activities, including live fire drills near the border. The Marine Corps said on Wednesday that it fired around 290 artillery shells using its K-9 howitzers and Chunmoo multiple rocket launcher systems. Meanwhile, the air forces of South Korea and the U.S. also conducted joint drills aimed at boosting interoperability between their fourth and fifth generation of fighter jets. Around 30 aircraft, including F-35As and KF-16s from South Korea, as well as F-22s and F-16s from the U.S., took part in Wednesday's exercise. Now shifting gears. The highest number of suicides among OECD members could be just one of the indicators that shows South Koreans are not happy. With mental health being often linked to the overall happiness of citizens, President Yoon is now taking the matter into his own hands with efforts to better accommodate people suffering from mental illnesses. Our Kim Do-yeon reports.
A series of policies dedicated to the mental health of citizens was announced on Wednesday after President Yoon Suk-yeol became the first South Korean leader to chair a meeting specifically dedicated to the mental well-being of the people. Hosting the first meeting of a committee he created last year, Yoon vowed a complete shift in the government's approach to mental health.
이제 국민의 이 마음을, 정신 건강을 돌보는 문제가 매우 중요한 국정 과제가 됐습니다. 우리가 아무리 세계 10위권 경제 강국, 글로벌 문화 강국으로 도약했다고 해도 국민이 한 사람 한 사람의 국민이 행복하다고 생각하지 않으면 아무 소용이 없는 것입니다.
The committee is tasked with focusing on three areas: prevention, treatment, and recovery. Regarding prevention, the government is set to start a project that will provide mental counseling to 1 million people by 2027, while providing free mental health checkups every 2 years for those in their 20s and 30s instead of once every 10 years. To promote rapid treatment, it will expand the current mental health emergency response teams nationwide. For recovery, the government will create rehabilitation centers focused on mental illnesses.
The detailed mental health policy plans announced during today's meeting are a roadmap created through surveys of patients and their families and input from medical, psychiatry, counseling, and welfare experts. No other government has ever done this before.
In the meantime, President Yoon said changing the public's perception of mental health is even more important than the policies themselves.
그렇지만 더 중요한 것은 정신 건강을 바라보는 우리 사회의 시선을 바꾸는 것입니다. 정신질환은 일반 질환과 마찬가지로 치료할 수 있고 치료하면 낫는다, 위험하지 않다는 인식이 우리 사회에 뿌리내리도록 해야 됩니다.
An official at the presidential office said the committee will have subcommittees, and one of them will consist of marketing and PR experts to create campaigns on breaking down the barriers of public perception toward mental health. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
The number of newborns increased in April for the first time in well over a year, but a higher mortality rate in the same month kept the country's population down. Park Gun-woo has South Korea's latest demographic portrait.
South Korea's population saw another natural decline in April. Though data from Statistics Korea on Wednesday showed that April's birth figures saw an on-year increase for the first time since September 2022, the population shrank due to an increase in the number of deaths. The number of births in April exceeded 19,000, which was an on-year increase of 2.8% due to the base effect, while a rise in the number of marriages from August 2022 until the first half of last year may have also been a factor. There were over 28,600 deaths the same month, up 4% compared to the year before, leading to a natural population decline of nearly 10,000. A Statistics Korea official pointed to the number of marriages in April as another area of focus. The figure soared by 24.6% compared to the year before, with just over 18,000 marriages registered in April. That's the highest increase for any April since related data was first compiled in 1981. The official said an extra workday in April for marriages to be registered compared to last year, an increase in marriage support subsidies, as well as the base effect helped boost figures. Divorce figures were also up by around 6% on year, exceeding 7,700. Park Gun-woo, Arirang News.
Starting tomorrow, medical professors at Severance Hospital, one of the 5 major hospitals in South Korea, have decided to go on an indefinite strike as doctors continue to protest against the government's reform of the medical school quota. Announcing this on Wednesday, the hospital's emergency committee said professors will have the option to choose whether or not to join the walkout. But it added that treatment in essential areas such as the emergency room, the intensive care unit, and child delivery room will not be affected by the strike. Professors at Asan Medical Center have also said they plan on joining the walkout starting next Thursday. But medical professors at other major hospitals such as Seoul National University, Catholic University, and Samsung Medical Center have said that they won't stage a walkout for now to minimize medical disruption. People are paying their condolences to the victims of the recent fire at a local battery factory. Meanwhile, the police are investigating factory officials over the deadly blaze. Yoon has the latest.
A memorial altar has been set up for the 23 victims of Monday's lithium battery factory fire. Relatives of the victims and members of the public have been paying their respects at the temporary memorial at Hwaseong City Hall in Gyeonggi-do Province. While most of the victims are foreign workers, only the identities of 3 Korean nationals have been confirmed. It has been reported that the remaining 20 bodies are too damaged for fingerprint identification. The National Forensic Service is currently conducting autopsies to confirm the identities of the remaining victims. 8 people were also injured in the fire, which started when batteries in the factory exploded. Meanwhile, the police and the Ministry of Employment and Labor initiated on Wednesday the seizure and search of the Aricell factory and other facilities. They aim to thoroughly investigate the cause of the fire and the factors contributing to the significant loss of life. The South Korean government has ordered the Aricell lithium battery factory to stop all operations as of Wednesday morning and has charged 3 Aricell factory officials with violations of industrial laws. The police are also investigating 5 factory officials, including CEO Park Sung-kwan, on charges of involuntary manslaughter due to occupational negligence. Hwaseong City has established a support center with participation from 12 organizations, including relevant ministries and the Chinese Embassy in Korea. The support provided will include assistance with funerals and medical care for those injured. Yoon, Arirang News.
And now over to sports. With only a month left until the Paris Olympics start, our Choi Soo-hyung visited the training center for Team Korea, where everything is set for the athletes heading to the Games.
South Korea's athletes' faces were filled with excitement and anticipation. In the upcoming 2024 Paris Olympics this summer, around 10,500 athletes from 206 countries will compete in 32 sports. Team Korea will comprise slightly over 140 athletes to participate in 21 sports, its smallest delegation since the 50 at the 1976 Montreal Olympics. At the recent 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics 3 years ago, South Korea won a total of 20 medals, including 6 gold, 4 silver, and 10 bronze, finishing in the top 15 overall rankings. Here at the National Training Center in Jincheon, Chungcheongbuk-do Province, Team Korea is training hard in the final preparations for the Olympics before heading to Paris with the goal of winning 5 gold medals and securing a place in the top 15 overall rankings. In archery, Korea claimed 4 gold medals in Tokyo and expect to get good result in Paris.
In Tokyo, there were no spectators due to COVID-19. But the Paris Olympics are expected to be filled with many fans. We are very excited and have been preparing a lot, so we ask for strong support. My goal is to win a gold medal in the men's team event.
Swimmer Hwang Sonu, who won 6 medals, including 2 golds at the 2023 Asian Games in Hangzhou, showed his confidence.
Over the past 3 years, we have honed our skills and gained valuable experience, and we are determined to show the country excellent performances.
Weightlifter Park Hae-jung aims for a medal in the discipline for Team Korea for the first time in 16 years since the 2008 Beijing Olympics.
Since it's my first Olympics, I feel very nervous, but I'm also eager to go to Paris quickly. Although my goal is not necessarily a gold medal, I am working hard with my coach to ensure I at least make it into the medal podium.
Badminton star An Se-young also said that she will deliver her best performance to the nation in Paris.
Earlier this year, I was constantly worried and had a tough time due to injuries. However, now that I am focusing on the Olympics, my condition has improved significantly. I can prepare well. I believe I can achieve good results.
Meanwhile, following concerns about the extreme heat in Paris at the end of July, the Korean Sport and Olympic Committee has pledged to support the athletes in every way, including providing cooling jackets to ensure they can do their best. Regardless of the color or number of medals, the Paris Summer Olympics, which will bring great joy and excitement to the nation, will begin its 17-day journey on July 26. Hwaseong, Arirang News, Sincheon.
On the cultural front, South Korea and Canada have officially launched their Year of Cultural Exchanges program. Seoul's Culture Minister Yoon and the Minister of Canadian Heritage Pascal St. Onge signed a memorandum of understanding at Canada's National Arts Centre in Ottawa on Tuesday local time, aiming to expand exchanges in the arts, cultural heritage, and sports. Following the signing, both ministers attended an opening ceremony featuring a collaborative performance by young musicians from Korea and Canada. The decision to designate 2024 to 2025 as a year of cultural exchanges was made during a summit between the leaders of the two countries in 2022. Now over in Cebu. UN Tourism initiated a Gastronomy Tourism Forum for the Asia-Pacific region. The talk centered on how this emerging trend can help boost local economies and at the same time protect cultural heritages, the topic that South Korea also takes a great interest in. Our Lee Soo-jin reports from the city.
There's a growing trend in tourism where it's less about what you see and more about what's on the menu. To bring experts from all of the world together to discuss this, the first UN Tourism Regional Forum on Gastronomy Tourism for Asia and the Pacific kicked off on Wednesday in Cebu.
Everything is tourism, and that's why it's very important day to day. Big part of economy in tourism, it depends on agriculture and gastronomy tourism.
Gastronomy tourism, or culinary tourism, is a type of travel where the main focus is experiencing a destination's local food and drink. And its market is projected to grow in value from $1.1 trillion in 2023 to a whopping $6.2 trillion in 2033. In light of this, the forum highlighted the wide-reaching economic impact gastronomy tourism has on a country, which includes diversifying income sources for local producers and creating jobs. This greater demand for local cuisine is also a way for a country to preserve its cultural heritage. And a large part of this market is expected to be based in the Asia-Pacific region, which is also why UN Tourism decided to hold a regional forum here in the Philippines.
Well, I think there is a very strong point on street food. I think when you think about Asia, it's a huge diversity. And also I think there is already a strong brand because a lot of the cuisines are very well known.
Tourism officials from various areas of the Asia-Pacific region, such as South Korea, Japan, and Hong Kong, were also in attendance to share their own experiences and learn about other countries' practices.
I personally believe that South Korea's gastronomy tourism has a huge impact on the world's gastronomy tourism. Jeju especially is receiving a lot of attention for its seafood and agricultural products from its UNESCO-approved fields.
He added that moving forward, based on what was discussed in this forum, the Jeju Tourism Organization also plans to raise awareness of Jeju's local cuisine in a way that is both inclusive and diverse.
With the forum successfully drawing more than 800 people from more than 30 different countries, it's expected to not just build anticipation for the World Forum happening later this year, but also be the first of many to be held for the Asia-Pacific region. Lee Soo-jin, Arirang News, Cebu.
Duty-free stores may no longer be the preferred venues of shopping for foreign travelers to Korea. As our Kim Bo-kyung reports, many now seek regular shops on streets or high-end department stores.
South Korea has been witnessing a rebound in the number of foreign tourists, recovering to nearly 89% of pre-COVID-19 pandemic levels in the first 3 months of this year. Duty-free shops have traditionally enjoyed the bulk of foreign sales, but that is no longer the case, at least for now. In the past, large group tour packages might have made a beeline to the city's duty-free shops. But these days, more tourists are choosing regular shops on the street, like this store, to buy the latest must-have items. CJ Group's health and beauty drugstore Lithium is one of those must-visit destinations for foreign visitors, having seen a significant 263% year-on-year surge in first quarter sales. Shoppers say it is not just a store, but rather a trendy cultural spot with a wide selection of products.
I think the reason is this place, it's a cultural spot for us as a tourists. When we watch videos about Korea and stuff like that, we always see Oliviang in the city and we want to see it.
And I mainly chose Oliviang because they have a broader selection of products, and I can test some of the products here. And there's some stuff who can help me out if I wonder something. So that has been very helpful here.
The popular dollar shop chain Daiso is another enjoying a boost in sales, with first quarter overseas card sales and transactions increasing by 76% and 61% respectively. Online fashion platform Bushinsa's Myeongdong store too has seen an increase in the number of foreign customers, with the figure climbing to 45% in May from around 30% in March. Foreigners' changed consumer trends can be seen in department stores as well. According to the data, foreign tourists' top choice for shopping was road shops, followed by department stores. Major ones, Lotte, Shinsegae, and Hyundai all saw at least 50 to 230% increases in foreign sales this year from January to May year-on-year.
Many tourists who come to Korea now come after seeing places on social media, so they visit ordinary shops a lot. Duty-free shops are losing customers because they are not actively promoting themselves on social media, nor do they have many products displayed. It is important for customers to actually see products and choose from a wide selection, and that is why small shops are popular.
김보경, Arirang News.
Hotter weather than usual continues in inland areas today with bright sunlight. However, the rainy season started today on Jeju Island. Late at night, the rain will spread to the south coast of Jeollanam-do province, and tomorrow the rainy season will start in other southern regions. Until Friday, there will be up to 150 millimeters of rain on Jeju Island and a lot of rain on the southern coast. Jeju Island and the south coast could receive 20 to 30 millimeters of heavy rain per hour tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, Seoul, Busan, and Jeju will start off at 21 degrees Celsius. It will go up to 32 degrees in Seoul, Chuncheon, and Daejeon, Daegu and Gyeongju, 28 degrees. After the whole country enters the rainy season over the weekend, the rain is expected to continue long into next week. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world.
Well, that is all for this newscast. Thank you for watching. We'll be back shortly at 10 p.m. with the AI Headline News. Good night.